Welcome to Haas's SillyCalculator. This is what it looks like when it runs so far. I only have a couple of buttons here, but if I hit +1, it obviously adds 1, and so the value changes by 1, and the comment says, thanks for adding 1. I can keep clicking this button, and you can see it continues to add 1. So this is what I have written for you so far with my very silly, useful calculator. And you need to begin by implementing the function that subtracts 1. So when I click this, your code is supposed to complete the subtract 1 function. So your code should write in the comment box, thanks for subtracting 1, and the value should actually decrease by 1. And then you have to implement the clear function. When you hit clear, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to set the total to 0 and clear the comment field as well. So when I hit clear, it's supposed to set this to 0 and set this to nothing. This should look blank right there. And here is the starting code that I give you on the left-hand side. This is the function add1, which is fully implemented. This function works as it is. And I'm doing things a little bit differently. In the past, we've grabbed the value by using this big long variable name, the form name dot the name of the field dot value. In this case, I'm passing the value in as an input parameter. So see this little thing, this variable called t right here. This t is the value that's in this box right here. So all I'm doing is I'm saying t plus plus, which you know is a shortcut way of saying t equals t plus 1. I'm adding 1 to it. And then these two lines of code are putting first the value into the value box. The name of the value box is calcform.tote.value. And then I'm putting this text, this string into this box. Thanks for adding 1. So in case you don't really get what this t thing, this input parameter does, let me scroll down. We'll take another look at it. If I scroll down to the actual form section, notice I named my form here calcform. It makes sense. It's calculating stuff, so I called it calcform. And if I scroll, if you look down at the button that adds 1, I'm adding. So when they click the button +1, it runs the function called add, and it passes tote.value. So tote.value is the value that's in this box, and that value, which is 7 right now, is getting passed into the function, which is up here. Where is it again? Into this variable called t. So we've passed parameters before in BYOB, but this is another way. I mean, I could have done this differently, but this time I decided, well, I'm going to pass the value as a parameter. These are called parameters as an input. So t, once again, t is the value that's in this box right here, and I passed it in. So all I then have to do is change the value t, and then take that value and put it back into these boxes as output. And so hopefully that looks familiar. You get what's going on. So again, the first thing I would do is finish the subtract function, and then finish the clear function. And then there's a whole bunch of other functions that you need to add, and let's take a look at those. So you need to, this is the actual assignment. So the add button already works. Wow. So you need to complete the functions subtract 1 and clear, and then you need to add a bunch of new buttons and functions to your calculator. Double obviously will double the value of whatever the total is. So if the value is 5 and you click double, it'll be 10, and then you click double again, it'll be 20, and so forth. So it should change the value and also change the comment and say something like, thanks for doubling. So again, this is the value. It would double the value, and it would change the comment. The absolute value function obviously takes the absolute value. If it's negative, it makes it positive, and so forth. So it changes the total and also changes the comment. Here is the absolute value. Then you have to write a function factorial, which finds the factorial of a number. For example, 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 120. So your function should display the value 120 in the value box, and it should change the comment box to show what that factorial is as an expression. So again, if they typed in, if the value was 5 and they hit factorial, it should show 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 in the comment area and display the value 120. I also want you to add 3 buttons that actually don't change the value at all. These just change the comment. Again, this is the value, this is the comment. So if somebody clicks the odd or even button which you're adding, it shouldn't change the value. It should just say in the comment section whether the number was odd or even. Perfect square, again, does not change the value. It just writes in the comment section whether or not it's a perfect square. And of course, perfect squares are the numbers where if you take the square root, you get whole numbers. Like 9 is a perfect square because 3 times 3 is 9. 10 is not a perfect square because you can't represent 10 as the square as 2 whole numbers squared. I think you know what perfect squares are. Sum of digits is going to be a little bit tricky. That will look at the number 1 digit at a time and add them all up. You have to think about this one a little bit. Well, I'll give you a little hint. The way you can get a digit is by using remainder division. The mod function, it's a percent function. That's how you can actually get a digit. And well, then you can divide by 10 actually to truncate that digit. But I think you'll be able to figure this out. I hope. But this is definitely the tricky one. So if the number is 423 and they want the sum of the digits, obviously that's 4 plus 2 plus 3, which is 9. So your program should just display. It's not going to actually change the value. It's just going to display in the comment area 4 plus 2 plus 3 equals 9. Underneath is your starting point, so I would copy and paste this into Notepad, and then it's your turn to add all these new functions and finish up these 2 functions which I started for you. All right, get to work.